Welcome to Check In to Stay, the podcast that guides international hospitality, tourism, and service management students through real stories, real challenges, and real pathways to earning a future in Canada. Let's check in.
This is Prithviraj Prakash, your host for the Check In to Stay podcast. And on today at Check In to Stay, we'll be talking about how hospitality management can be your way to PR in Canada.
Hi, my name is Cynthia Melanie Carrasco Paz. I'm from Mexico. I'm here living in Sarnia for almost 1 year and a half. And I'm taking here in Lambton College Tourism Operation Management that is actually related with hospitality. I hope you enjoy this chapter and please be free to leave your comments below.
Hello, Melanie. Welcome to our podcast. Thank you
Hi.
for joining us today. So, I wanted to ask, can you tell me more about yourself as well as why you chose hospitality?
Yeah, well, I think when I came here to Canada, I just realized that my whole life it was all about serving people in kind of customer service, but also not in a professional way. It's just being related with people and just serving tables with food and everything. So when I came here, I was just like, oh, apparently I have doing this for my entire life. So it was kind of weird when I came here to see how my life in Mexico, it was so connected with my studies here in Canada. So I was like, okay, I didn't plan it that way, but I think it was just good.
Back in Mexico, like, have you ever worked in hospitality before as well?
No, actually, here in Canada it was my first job working in hospitality. Back in Mexico, I had this background to be an accounting. So that's different, but I also work for my dad, and he has a business, and I was working there. So it was such a small business, so it was just me, the people that was doing everything. So most of all the things was customer services.
When you were transitioning, moving from Mexico to Canada, um, what was the most biggest challenge that you would have faced? Like, was it language or was it culture? Like, anything else? What was it?
I think for sure, number one was the language. I have
Mhm.
heard from other friends from other countries that they have the opportunity to practice the English in their countries, but we in Mexico, we don't have that. Maybe we can have school that can teach you English and you can only practice in your school, but not outside.
So English was a big change technically, since that was not a norm, even though that was something that you still had in your normal life.
Mhm.
So how do you think it could benefit up for you here?
Oh, well, definitely here for my PR. So
Mm.
I think most of the students wants to stay here in Canada, and I think that's my plan as well. So I realized when I came here that it's not just enough knowing the basis of English, but I have to keep learning, keep practicing, and just being related with all the people and hanging out with my friends, asking my professors, or even asking anybody else to correct my English. I know this can help me just to keep building those points that I needed for my PR. So I think it's just on a daily basis. I'm in training too.
So on a daily basis, because you're talking, it's quite helping you to improve on yourself, right?
Yes.
So, like, when you chose hospitality back from Mexico before coming here, did you know it's like a prime pathway to PR? Have you already done those researches
Mm,
before coming here?
yeah. I actually my sister was the one that was helping me with all this process because I was just focused on I don't want to leave my family and all those things. But she was one that told me which courses can I took that didn't ask me for a degree back in Mexico because I don't have it. So tourism and hospitality was one of those programs that the
Mhm.
college offered that doesn't need any degree from your country back home.
Country.
So I think that's one of the most important things for me because otherwise I cannot have the opportunity to stay here in Canada, which I really want to. So my sister helped me to know which program it was. And now that I'm here, well, I just want to keep going with my path.
That sounds lovely. So, once you landed over here in Canada, things would have been feeling super different, and it's a huge change, right?
Yeah.
So when you started off going with your college life, have you ever indulged or got into any part-time job opportunities?
Yes.
Okay, were they in hospitality?
Yes.
Oh,
Hmm.
okay. Can I hear more about that? Like,
Sure, yes. Well, when I came here, I knew that one of my first things was looking for a job because
mm,
life here in Canada it's not cheap for the international students. So I knew that was one of the most important things that I had to do. And in my first term, I applied for so many places, but I got rejected all the times. So it was in my second term, almost at the end of it, when I applied for one hotel in
mhm,
Christina Street over here in Signia, and
mm,
they offered me one position in banquets department. So I started working there, but it was just at the end of my second term. So it was kind of hard, even when I just worked kind of 2 weeks while I was studying here. But still, I think it's kind of hard just to found the balance between your studies and
studies,
also your work, so you don't have to interrupt or being bad student or anything like that. But it's just kind of
okay.
hard to find that balance.
So, how hard was it for you to actually land a part-time job?
I think it was really hard. I didn't expect that it could be that hard. I applied for all the jobs that I could find in LinkedIn and Indeed. I applied for everything. I think even one of my friends, uh, he he let me use his name for a reference in Walmart, and
Okay.
I think I was almost to get in, but they say like, no, you are not what we want. So it
Wow.
was really hard. I spent almost like 8 months just waiting
Wow.
and applying and getting rejections all the time. So it's not easy.
Did you already like once you got into hospitality, and since you were already working in studying in hospitality,
Yeah.
did you already figure out transition from this part-time position to a full-time position, perhaps?
Yes. Well,
Okay.
I knew I wanted just to keep working there. It was my
Mm,
first time working in hospitality job related. So I really enjoy doing that. So I think it was just like, okay, I want to stay here. I don't want to
okay.
change my pathway. I don't want to have another jobs. I just want to stay here. And I knew my co-op was the perfect opportunity to do that, just to work full time and maybe just keep working in that way so I can have points for my PR as well.
Okay, so I believe then you would have already looked into the knock categories,
Yes.
LMIA, and things like that.
Yeah.
Do you have any particular knowledge that you would like to share about this particular?
Yeah. I think, for example, well, I don't know. Obviously, I think it changed a little bit from all the different people and different
Mm-hmm,
students and
mm-hmm,
everything. But for LMIA, I think it's kind of hard because it's just for a period of time.
mm-hmm.
And after that, you have to apply again just for work permits. So it's like a short term. And that's really what I'm looking for now. I will look sorry, just to apply for other path so that
Okay.
they can get me the permanency residency,
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
permanent
permanent
resident. Yes,
residency, of
sorry.
course.
So I think that's for me my best option. I don't want to just do it in short terms, different times. I just want to go for my direct path.
That sounds like a bigger risk that you would have to take a hold,
Yes.
right? So I do understand how you feel like the LMIA is a huger risk than
Yeah.
knock, obviously. So what's the nature of your job? Like,
Okay. Yeah. Right now, I'm working in banquets department,
mhm,
but I'm not working in Insignia. I'm
okay.
working in the Four Points Hotel by Sheraton, and over there, we actually do everything for the events. We had to set up all the room with tables, chairs. We have to put all the cutlery and just serving people. We have to kind of event, maybe if it's plated or it's a buffet, we have to prepare everything. And after that, we have to clean all for the guests so they can feel comfortable enough to keep in just with the party or the business. And after that, we have to tear down all the events. So it's about long shifts, actually.
So as per your research about LMIA, knock, like, what is your understanding about all of this?
It's all what the government wants you to know, and that you have information if you want to apply for your permanent residency. So I think, as I mentioned it before, as a student in hospitality, we don't we don't want, or we cannot apply just working in a front desk in a hotel. We have
Mm-hmm.
different options in the government page. Actually, we can find that there's options for servers, just like me, for example, or people that works in a kitchen, people that works in a housekeeping. And I remember in my second term, in one of my classes, I
Mm-hmm.
found out that people that is actually working in a very specific laundry department, kind of
Mm-hmm.
housekeeping, they can apply for a different path just to apply directly for the permanent residency. So that can help you if you are working in hospitality. But
Wow.
if you are not in that path, but you just apply for the work and they give you there, you can just apply there.
Wow. So that means even if, for example, a student previously whom did not go into hospitality, of
Yeah,
course, um, treads across this particular pathway and
yeah,
finds interest,
yeah,
they could absolutely shift their career
yeah,
on into hospitality.
yeah.
Wow, that sounds like a really convenient shift from the pathways.
Yeah.
So, when it comes to the pathway to PR, do you think that there is a huge difference, perhaps when one is in management or perhaps one is a line cook?
I think it's totally different, and it can help you if you have a management position,
Okay.
because I started being a server,
Mhm.
so that's kind of the lowest position. So that cannot, even when it helps you to gain some points, the reality is if you become like a manager or even supervisor, a higher level helps you to have more points. So actually makes
Wow.
the difference.
So, being in management definitely in hospitality definitely helps you get
Yes.
more points.
Yes.
Okay, clear. Where do you think that your job role falls in the knock to your list?
hmm I think right now it's most on the point number four when you ask as a college student that can
Mm-hmm.
work in those basic positions.
Okay.
So we can call it like that. So yeah, it's just we're building our own path. So start
Okay.
there. It's
So
okay.
that you can term that as a good start, a first step
Yes.
ahead into hospitality.
Yeah, for
Absolutely.
sure.
So let's say 2 years from now or 3 years perhaps, where do you see yourself in hospitality, or do you see yourself somewhere else? Like,
Yeah, I think definitely I want to keep this path in hospitality
mm-hmm.
and working in a specific hotel. Right now, I been love the experience that I have working in the Four Points Hotel. It has been a beautiful experience, but probably in maybe 2 years or maybe three, yeah, why not? Being a manager of the department right now, I'm in the banquets department, so I would love to. And even if there's no vacancy, I have learned that I can move to the other departments, so
Oh.
probably gaining experience. So one of my classes in the last term, in my second term, was about to management in the whole hotel. So if you
Wow.
want to know how to manage properly a whole property, you have to know what is the duties of each department and how to do them properly. So I think it's just about gaining experience and yeah, being manager.
Wow, that sounds like a lot of work.
It is.
And so like you said, perhaps you could be a manager of your own department, like you said.
Yeah.
So in case if like, do you think that there is a difference in getting PR when you're perhaps like, do you think you'll get a PR faster in manager position, or do you think you'll get faster in another department? Like, do you think there's a
Yeah.
huge difference from different departments on getting PR?
Yeah, I would say that probably the time of response of the government can be less if you have a bigger position or a higher position.
Oh.
Being a manager, probably for the natural of the position, can maybe you, instead of waiting 8 months or maybe a year for the response of the government, maybe you can just wait five, because that the higher you are in a position, it's like the higher responsibilities you have. So it's always better to being a manager than just a server. And I am not saying as a server you cannot apply for the PR.
Hmm.
You definitely can do it, but probably the time that you have to wait for the government response can be
Pretty
maybe more time.
long.
Yes.
Okay.
So, but as we are talking before, if we are in this pathway, it's just to be patient, because also I'm pretty sure the government's not only waiting for my applies.
Absolutely.
It's
There are
a lot of
plenty of
appliance
people around.
going around. So maybe if I'm a server, maybe I'm not in those urgent responses that the government has to give, but you can apply anyways. You know the rules, the government page of website, it's already clear, and it can help you just to find the right information that you have to do and what documents do you have to submit and everything. It's maybe just the time that you have to wait for the responses.
Sounds like a hefty responsibility.
Yeah, it is.
So let's say me, a project management student, what if I were to go into hospitality? What do you think is a first step for me to take?
uh, because I know you have good skills and soft skills too. But I think in the best, probably the most easy positions to start is as a server. Even not in a hotel, but probably in a restaurant.
Mm.
It's also good options. But probably if you want to work kind of a hospitality path, it's always better to work in a hotel or in these brands that can allow you to keep growing and maybe moving to another departments as long as you want it. So I think it's always better just to begin in the right place, because I remember when I had my interview in Walmart, I was like, yeah, I want a job, and that's what I really wanted, a job. But when I started working in the Hotel Insignia, I was like, this is the right way to start, because I'm doing my pathway. I'm just starting here in another country. I don't have any backgrounds in Mexico, so starting in the right place can also help you to just keep going.
So when you started off as a server, did you need any certification, any licenses perhaps, or
Yeah.
had to take on any special courses to actually proceed on to become a server?
Yes, actually, right now in the job that I am, they ask for two certifications. One is SmartServe, that I had to pay for that. In my tuition payment, it was there. So I knew before coming here to Canada that I have to save that money so I can pay for myself. The college is not paying that, because that's a benefit that I can get as a student. Even when I finish college, I still have my certification that allows me to keep working. So I think that's good. And the other one is for food handlers. That one is free. So I think that's really cool. And I think one of the good points of college here is one of my subjects in my first term was actually getting all those certifications. So I didn't have to know or to look for myself, what do I need, because the college literally tell me like, this is what you need, and your grades are gonna be if you get a good percentage of what this certification needs. So I think it was great because I didn't know, but here college
Yeah, the
telling me
college
too.
kind of assisted you
Oh, yeah.
also as well then.
Yes.
What do you think, like your soft skills from Mexico that you brought up to Canada? Do you think that there are skills that would actually benefit you on to going for the PR?
Yeah, I would say as Mexicans or as a Latino people, we are warm people. Like we like to greet people and just to hug everyone. Obviously, we don't do that here, but I think we have a basic thing of soft skills. But I think very specific here in hospitality, in customer service, you develop those skills. If you are lack of them, you can just develop them, because you cannot give a good customer service if you don't like to talk, if you are not interested or know what your guest is asking for or what your guest needs, you will never be a good customer service.
So I've done some of my research as well, and I've compared the data to the past. I've seen that currently the study permit and the work permit approvals have came down a bit compared to the past. So in the early 2025, the acceptance ratio for the study permit has come down to approximately of an average of 42%.
Yeah.
And the work permits have came down to around 69%. What are your thoughts on this for the future?
Well, we cannot ignore as a students or immigrants that the government knows what kind of people they want to be in the country. So we have to know the rules, and we have to know what the government, what the people, what the Canadians need and want in their country. I think maybe now it can be a sensitive topic, but actually it is not. It's just the rules. And we as an immigrants, we as a people that maybe in our mind we have another culture because our home countries and everything, we have to come here and realize and be very mindful that we are not, for example, me, I didn't came here just to implement here my Mexican culture. No, I came here to Canada and I have to let go my Mexican culture because here's my Mexico.
Assimilate, yeah, and
Yes,
be a Canadian technically.
exactly. So I think in this very point, the government has been really clear about what kind of people can work and can serve Canadians, even other immigrants, and have a management position. Because what this is what we're talking about.
Yes.
If I want to a managing position, I have to know that it's not because I pay someone in the government just to give me that position. No, it's because I follow all the rules and I'm a good person that I can be helpful to Canada.
What would be the top tips that you would give to students or people who are starting up and getting their step ahead into PR now in hospitality?
Yeah, I think one of the most important is having the record of the hours that you are working. Most of the hotels, probably what I can say about my experience is you can always check in and check out, and the whole system that they have, they are just hitting all the records of your hours and everything. But also, for my experience, also in the 4 points, they gave me one page where I can see my payment and all what they are doing. So if you don't have a place where you start to put your fingerprint and everything, you
Mhm.
can always ask to the manager or the responsible of the department so you can know how are your hours being tracking. And also for myself, I did it just in my phone. I was like, I
Mm.
am starting at this hour and I'm finishing at this time. So you have the proper hours correct for your PR. Those are very important. We have to remember again that it's about following the rules. It's not just because I'm going to say that I work 40 hours or 24 hours as a student. It's not just saying just because. We have to do it right. So I think that also it's an open door for us. If we
Mhm.
are following the rules, it's something that the government also wants to listen and it's prepared of. So I think that's
Absolutely.
number one.
Following the rules and adhering to the rules is number one, absolutely.
Yes. Yeah, I think another tip, all of the tips are very important, but I think is that we as a student, maybe some of the students are very young. In my case, I am not that young. So, but all of us, we have to be very mindful to be responsible and taking serious our job. Even if it's a part-time job, we have to take it serious. The
Mhm.
people or bosses or managers, they are not in that positions to be a babysitters.
Mhm.
We are in adults now, so we have to take serious our education, of course, but also our jobs.
Okay.
So we have to be very mindful of that. Nobody is going just behind us like you have to do this. No, it's just our responsibility. We are grown up, so we also have to do that. And being from different cultures, again, you have to remind you are in Canada, so that's one thing that you have to do with it. And I have it here. So another thing I think it's really important is the network that you are building. Right now, as I mentioned it before, I think at the beginning of this conversation, we have LinkedIn, we have Indeed, we have a lot of application, even the social media,
Mhm.
where we can know all the people that is important for our pathway. I'm not saying to just building relationships. Because we want it or because it's a benefits for us, but most of the times that's how it works.
That's how it works.
So probably we can just network with the right people. I know sometimes it's good just the new experience of being in another country and maybe we can waste our time doing other things, but we
Mhm.
have to be very mindful that the time is flying right now, so we have to
Absolutely.
focus on what is really important, what is our pathway. If we want to one day have the PR, if we want one day having a managing position, we have
Mhm.
to make the right path, but also the right network. So we have to connect with the right people. It doesn't matter if you start really low or really high, you always people connections are going to help you. Specifically here in Canada, I have heard
Mhm.
that it's a massive thing here. If you have connections, the right connections, you can have a good job. not because of the people, but also because the kind of work that you do.
You
Yeah.
just sort of talking about networking and mentorship and things. So I was thinking, in terms of the labor market impact assessment, do you think that having a good networking, having a good position on having a knowledge and knowing a lot of people comes into play for the LMIA? Perhaps do you think it'll help you get opportunities?
Yeah, it's actually very important because
Mhm.
it's not just for us as a student, as an immigrant students that we came here to Canada. If you are not here just for studies, but you came from another country, that also can help you to your LMIA.
Mhm.
But in very specific case, we as a students, as an immigrants, after our college is done, we can apply for an LMIA to just keep working on our PR. So over there, it's where the network works.
Really matters.
Yes, because our bosses, the manager can maybe recommend you to the government, so we can have a good point of view of what person we are. I think it's not just important the words that we can say about ourselves,
Okay.
because I can speak really good things about me, but that doesn't matter. But it matters what the other people that can have authority, they think about
Think
me,
about you.
and they have saw about my job, about my skills, about my leadership and everything. So I think the networking is really important, not just because in terms of changing the job, but for a PR that also can be important. If the government sometimes asks you for, okay, give me a reference where I can call, where I can ask about you, so I can know if this information that you are
It's
giving
all
me
valid.
is right. Yeah. So they can call, and that people can say like, oh yeah, I can assure that Melanie is this kind of person. So that also can be mindful, if we can have it present, and it's helpful too.
Absolutely nice. Okay. So, do you think there are some set of key skills that would actually benefit off of you here? Like,
For sure.
I know
Yes.
being adaptable is absolutely crucial in
Yes.
nowadays, but anything else you might, I don't know, but perhaps no.
Yeah. For the skills, we need everything of skills, and I think right here, Canada is a country that takes seriously the part that you have it to be training before you actually start your job. So I think that's really amazing, because after or beyond the soft skills that we need, we also need the hard skills. We need to, for example, my job, I have to know how to carry proper a tray, how to just hand out the plates with the food for the people, how to greet the guests that are coming to the room. So all these kind of
Sure.
skills that,
Etiquettes, right?
yes,
Yes.
that
Okay.
we think that we know, sometimes we don't. So the
Mhm.
training is over there, the new skills, and I think that part is important, that we are learning every single day. We have to be adaptable in that part, that we are learning everything in the minimum detail. We have to get something new from that experience, so our job can be better every time. I think another tip that is actually really good, very specific in hospitality, is the leadership.
Mhm.
We cannot just going through the life thinking that we always we're gonna be follower of someone. We had in one of the time of our life just stand out and being the leader that our job requires, because that also, even when can help us as a person, as an individual, that can help us to go up to maybe have a higher position in the work,
Mhm.
but also again for the PR.
Okay.
So I know that all the managers are looking for those kind of soft skills in every employer. So we have to take serious, and we cannot confuse the terms of being a leader with being rude, with being just screaming at the people and just humiliate the people. That's not what a real leader is. So we
Mhm.
just have to make sure that we understood what we have to do, and also being mindful that maybe other people cannot understand, but we are there to leading all the people. So
Mhm.
those soft skills we have to again learning every day, and just being strong without being rude, but being kind, just this balance that we are just finding out where we are just living.
Okay, absolutely. Being empathetic is a
Yes.
part of being leader, great leader, of course. And thank you, viewers, for watching this podcast. I would like to ask to go into the comment section, post down all the questions that you have for Melanie, and hit the like button as well as follow and subscribe for more videos.
You have been watching Check In to Stay. Follow the show for more insight that will help you to move from student to permanent residence. See you in next episode and welcome to Canada.